want to do. That's right. Good morning. Hi, how are you guys? Welcome. Oh my gosh. It certainly is a hump day. I'll give you that. Hold on, I gotta fade down the music. Calm ourselves down. This is good. Get myself out of studio mode. So, hi. Thanks for hosting the stream. If you're on Twitch, you can expand. You can expand us to the rest of the world. Appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All the things I'm supposed to say at the top. I'm Hal Sparks. These are Hal Sparks Mornings, Mega Worldwide. I'm Mornings Mega Worldwide, your host. And my voice sounds weird. Small echo. That's strange. Let me see if that's a problem. Oh, I know what it is. I bet you I know what it is. That's what it is. Sorry. That's why. Sorry. Thank you. Thanks for pointing that out. I added my shirt's wet because I just got out of the shower and my hair was still damp and I was just in a rush. You can imagine. Good morning. This should be much better and much more normal. No, this is definitely not bedhead. I washed it just now, like in a big hurry. So, because I was ponytailing it 2 days in a row, and you go to the gym and ponytail, ladies, you feel my pain. You ponytail it a couple days in a row. You hairspray the stragglers, and you end up with your hair. It feels like potato chips. I'm not gonna lie. It's crunchy and salty. And you can't eat just one. I don't know what the heck. Yes, this is damp Hal. I'm not wet, I'm damp. Just slightly damp. You can see the drips on my shirt. This is from the tail of my hair. Yeah. Good morning. Hi. Lots of stuff's going on today, obviously. Rittenhouse is weeping in court right now. Everybody who is watching it thinking they know what the hell they're talking about. And they don't. And they're going to get upset when things don't go their way, when they could have avoided the entire upset knowing that their way wasn't going to happen. Also, just for the record, just so you know how I lean in any of these circumstances, my opinion is that only a pedophile would want any child tried as an adult. Let me state that again for clarity. Only a pedophile would want any child tried as an adult. If we're going to make the distinction between children and adults, and I think we should, then we stick to it whether we like it or not. No matter how mad we are, no matter what we think. I honestly, if you're complaining about this 17-year-old kid and the decisions that he made, then why can't Matt Gaetz just help himself to a 17-year-old girl? Is it because girls are weaker than boys or something? Is that what you're saying? I'm saying a minor, period. And there is a thin line between someone, let's say, I don't know, in the state of Florida, just picking this out of a hat, going into court sometime and saying, well, if you can try a 13-year-old for murder, certainly I can argue that a 16-year-old was an accessory to fucking. They wanted to be there. If you're saying this 13-year-old can make a decision, a lifelong decision about killing someone, certainly a kid can make a decision about a less consequential decision like sex, right? There's a point where those two legal ideas meet in the middle, and it's not good. Same thing about Sandy Hook. Kids are kids. Well, a 17-year-old who has full functioning genitals then should be able to have sex with an adult, Janet? Is that what you're arguing? No. We either make those decisions about what a child means and what a minor means, or we don't. Otherwise, why are you complaining about a 17-year-old consenting without their parental permission with Matt Gaetz? It's gross. No. If you're going to draw a line, you're going to draw a line. You're going to stick to it. And I believe we should. That's my own personal feeling about it. And by the way, there is 0 point in arguing it with me because I shall not be moved. You can factor it into your opinion scheme and reject it, or you can absorb it and have it kind of weigh on you as a thought process whenever you're claiming that a 15-year-old who shot up a school should go, get the death penalty or what have you. I'm just saying, if you're going to set a line, you keep the line. And I believe kids are kids. And if we're going to say a kid cannot make a decision about what to do with their genitals, we certainly can't claim they are adults when it comes to something violent, for example. I'm saying only a pedophile would argue that a child should be tried as an adult. Because it underlies a future scheme to change the law. And again, I'm saying this. I am saying this. This is my opinion. You do not have to agree with my opinion. You do not have to absorb my opinion. But that's crucial in how I make my decisions about stuff. Then should a 17-year-old be allowed to join the army? No, that's why 18-year-olds can only join the army. Sorry, a kid is a kid. And if you don't think a future Matt Gaetz is going to argue that if a kid can go to jail for the rest of their life because of a decision they made under the age of 18, then a kid can make a decision about what they want to do with the rest of their life under the age of 18, including marry a 54-year-old man when they're 16. Because the law will be blind eventually to that line. It'll have to be. Yes, right, Robert. He will be found not guilty of murder, but he is not innocent. That's an excellent way to put it. No one is ever found innocent in a court of law. Yeah, I'm not trying to insult anybody with my opinion. I'm telling you my opinion, and it is a sound one that I have given a lot of consideration to. And I think it's crucial. Yeah, someone killed 2 people. That is true. A child did. A 17-year-old. And if we're going to say that Matt Gaetz can't offer drugs to and have sex with and traffic a 17-year-old because she is too immature to make said decisions, then the same thing has to apply to everybody else who's under 18. And I think it should, because rehabilitation is proper. Right. I think Rittenhouse absolutely needs therapy. I absolutely think that children are more capable of being of outgrowing or being rehabilitated than a codified adult. I'm not comfortable with the idea of sentencing a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old at the time of the crime, because a lot of kids wait a couple of years for their trial even to come forward, that will get the same sentences of, as somebody in their 40s. Yeah, the male brain is not fully developed until they're 25, but it's developed enough by the time you're 18 or 21 to make sound decisions about certain things. But even still, we wait till you're 18 before we let you join the military and get yourself killed for country. How, as a minor, did his mom have to sign off for a televised trial? No, he's 18 now. The crime happened when he was 17. He's 18. Time moves forward. I agree. I think the adults around Rittenhouse clearly need counseling. Oh, you can join at 17? All right. I've always gone by selective service. You don't have to sign up for selective service till you're 18, where you can be pulled up with parental permission. There you go. So technically speaking, that's the justification? So if that girl's parents gave her permission to go to a hotel room where Matt Gaetz was going to be, he had parental permission. Well, not to, well, yeah, I guess. But even then, that's not an official thing. That's just interfamily. Again, you want to sue his family? That's fine. But again, the argument goes back to the exact same thing. Under 18, that's the rule. You can get married at 14 with parental permission. I am not for that. I think that's wrong. I think that's awful. And I don't think that's justification for trying a child, as a murderer, because your parents can like parlor you up. Yeah, no. What's Matt Gaetz doing hooking up with minors? Exactly. Black kids are tried as adults 85% more, though. Well, then my argument would be 85% more of them would be helped, because I don't think it's racially derived. I think it's age derived. That would help that circumstance. I don't think any kid of any race should be tried as an adult under the age of 18. That's my personal belief. Yeah. Can Rittenhouse family be sued? Yeah, they can be sued like a civil rights violation kind of thing. I don't legislate. I vote. And I vote for people who wouldn't be okay with that. Yes, a child bride is a child bride even here. Forget it. His mom is guilty of her taking him there. That'll never fly. Like that just, like, I think you're right about her not being innocent, but there's never going to be a trial where she gets charged with this. Otherwise, every parent who drops their kid off at school is going to be charged if their kid is a school shooter, even if they had no idea, because they're an accessory to the crime because they drove them there. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't figure out what jeans to wear at 14. Exactly. Yeah, but you can't deputize a 17-year-old, even in that circumstance. Is that his fault? As a matter of fact, that's even more reason why a minor would be, less aware of the weakness of his own decisions when adults around them are telling them stuff. That would go into the plying a child with alcohol category. Adults giving Kyle Rittenhouse a bulletproof vest and encouraging his behavior would be I would put that under contributing to the delinquency of a minor. What if you ply somebody with alcohol to have sex with them? It's a difference. It's a child. Yes, Epstein, yes. And Epstein's girls were brought there by other girls who were underage in some cases. Are we going to assume that those underage girls are the same level of criminal that Epstein was? No. The gun was already in the state. His mother didn't drive him there with the gun. Yes, kids can make up for a lot of terrible circumstances in life. I am just always going to be on the side of rehabilitation of children and not putting them in jail at adult level sentences. Period. No matter who they are. The only difference would be is somebody who is mentally deranged, like a school shooter, where there's an argument that they might have a level of psychosis where they need to be kept away from the public and reevaluated on a regular basis, as opposed to a prison sentence, for example, which I think the like Sandy Hook shooter and others would qualify for, if that makes sense. Thanks, Josh. Thanks very much. Put a gun in someone's hands, they want to use it on a living thing. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Venice. I don't know how to read that one. Venused. Venused. Yeah, that had to do with Michael's bringing up a really good point about queer as folk, and there was an issue with the age of consent in. There was no gay age of consent in Pennsylvania at the time. The show was set in Pittsburgh, and the idea is that they simply used 16 without parental consent. It's 16 in the state of Pennsylvania, and so we the writers, for all practical purposes, adapted that to the fact that he was 17. And yes, I thought it was wrong and creepy and weird. But that was also based on a British story and the tale of them, So yeah, and there was an issue about whether we could even air at all. There was like leading up to the launch, and my character didn't agree with it. I don't agree with it. Again, it was fictional, so you're showing something. The actor playing him was older. I'm just very disappointed that just because someone doesn't agree with you, for them as a child molester. I'm just saying, only a pedophile would want that. Would seek that out. If he was 18, would you feel different? Absolutely. Do some people consider it as a distinction without a difference? Yeah. Does that mean I have to? No. I don't consider it a distinction without a difference in Matt Gaetz sex trafficking that girl allegedly into Georgia and giving her drugs and having sex with her in a room with other people. Oh, the Sandy Hook shooter was 20? Well, he's an adult. Yeah. Just means they can be convicted of a crime to someone who is 18 plus. Yeah. Pedophile is not necessarily a child molester. That is a distinction I don't care to make. What is it? Just they haven't acted on it yet? Please. No. No. Yes, they are. they just haven't had the opportunity. I'm not saying I'm not accusing people of pedophilia for seeking justice. I'm making that distinction. I'm making an extreme example of something. No. Kids are kids. If we're going to have an 18-year distinction on a lot of behaviors, we're going to stick to it. And I don't want some pedophile down the line saying, Your Honor, in this state, you tried a 13-year-old for murder. You said that they had knowledge and, to know right from wrong and all these things. So why can't I have sex with a 14-year-old? That's the problem. No. Here's the difference. You guys think he's an adult even though he's 17. So sorry. The Dershowitz defense, right? Who cares if it was premeditated? If a 14-year-old girl puts on makeup to go meet some dude in a camper who she met online, who's 33, and they drive away together, she premeditated going, out with this dude. That doesn't mean she's in control of her actions. Yes, I would rather see Chip as well. Child molestation is the act. Pedophiles the predilection. If they never. Oh, whatever. Please. It's like it's a difference between an infection and an opportunistic infection. Yeah. Yeah, the two 16-year-olds that murdered their Spanish teacher are being tried as adults. I do not agree with that. If you want to expand the juvenile law to a larger amount of time and a specific treatment or psychological evaluations and treatment over that time, then that's different. But just going, well, I don't know. It looks like a grown-up murder to me. Screw it. Janet, I would make the argument that you believe he is an adult. He is making adult decisions. And I'm saying the only people who want the law shifted so that we can try children as adults are people who later on want adults to be able to treat children as adults themselves. Killer Kyle's going to be in Congress in a few years. I would not rule that out as some lunatic runs him. Although I think the dew is coming off the lily on Trumpistan as much as they might want it to be otherwise. I'm offended he's referring to someone who doesn't agree with him as a pedophile. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, it's a slippery slope argument. And it concerns me. And I have a hard line about this. And I express that hard line about this with direct language. Oh, does it say? Oh, yeah. I was traveling, Richard, on Monday. Yeah, agreed, Victoria. Yes, it will go in fits and starts. Yep. On the bright side, what are we, 68 hours away from Trump's notes and his communications pre-Jan 6 coming out? How your brain isn't fully formed until you're 24. Well, in a couple more years, I'll be double that, and I hope it's fully formed at least by then. I agreed, Jeanette. The amount of stuff. Hold on. Let's look. Shall we check out the? I mean, it's all going to be this in the morning. Hold on. Let's see if this is. Well, of course it doesn't. It dumps out. Hold on. Burp. I always have to crawl under my desk in the middle of the morning. Sorry. Burp. Hello. Hello. There we go. You're welcome, Brian. I'm trying. The problem is, I think, is that a lot of people hear the, on both sides of the aisle, hear the exact same thoughts about everything, like day in and day out. And it does not bode well for people cognitively How did you see what I typed out about carrying a pepper ball gun in New York City? No. Is it outlawed there or not? Vigilantism is rarely the correct thing to do. Agreed. We know what you're doing under the desk. Do you really? Okay, so this is today's gee whiz, what do you what a surprise. Doctored video about vaccines and minis. Did not say that virtually every individual in hospital with COVID-19 is vaccinated, contrary to claims. The audio video has been edited to alter Kamala Harris's statement on July 12th. Because that's how they do. Don't do that. This is why when I do my show, I play the whole contextual statement. Yeah, this is all back. I don't know. Come back to teaser photo for Guilty Pleasure. It's a movie that's coming out. Yipes. Very excited to see whatever that is. Yeah, and then this is the crying video of him. Here's a snapshot of 675 arrests, 210 charged with assaulting resisting officers, like the guy we showed the interview that Greg Kelly did last night. 10 charged with assaulting media, destroying equipment, 121 guilty pleas, 105 for misdemeanors, 16 for felonies. And that's how it's going to be. These guys who do this. Yeah. This dude, like, he's going to get, what, 51 months? On like, that's the baseline expectation for the QAnon shaman. Boy, is that guy going to have a media tour when he gets out. Again, this is one of those things where when Lenny Bruce, sorry, I didn't even transition over. I'm sorry. I was showing you something and I meant to show you something and I didn't show you something. When I have to turn this out of studio mode, it doesn't automatically go over. So Dr. Video modified Kamala Harris' statement. Yeah. Not surprising. 30 hours a day of solitary confinement. Right. It's terrible. The word guilty is trending. Sentence for a high-level Jan 6 offended. Scott Fairlamb pleaded guilty to assaulting police. Did judge go higher or lower than the 44 months recommended by prosecutors? I like, back the blue, bro. Back the blue. But that guy, he's like a police officer or something. Like, it's ridiculous. And then a lot of this is rotating around. And then there's a movie called Guilty Pleasure that's that picture right there. You're like, come on. All right. And then they showed this. These are the DOJ. Yo, dog. The DOJ has issued the latest snapshot of the Jan 6 investigation, 675 arrests, 210 charged with assaulting resisting officers, 121 guilty pleas, 105 for misdemeanors, 16 for felonies, 10 charged with assaulting media or destroying equipment. A bunch of these idiots are still in jail, including the one that was interviewed last night. And then, of course, the QAnon shaman, they're looking at, prosecutors seek 4+ years in prison for him. And he wants to get out just on time served. No. One of the things, and this guy, by the way, how does everybody not want to see this guy waiting outside the bar for them, just staring from his truck? Oh, I keep missing your warning about the pepper ball gun. I apologize. Let's see. Scroll back here. If they catch you one, you can get at least 6 months of jail. Even BB guns need a permit. Must be registered in New York. Yeah. You check ahead wherever. Thanks for the warning, Robert. You check ahead about what you can bring and where. Yeah. Some states allow it, some don't. Yeah, like California, you can't have them, which is very strange, but it's true. This dude, Wow. This guy should be tried as a child because his brain isn't fully formed. Grown man. Grown man. Yeah. So this dude, 4 years, they're gonna try and give him for this, and he's like, I should just get out with the few months I've been in here. It's already been tough enough. Yeah, grown man is right. Ugh. Yeah. So, anyways, and then there's a lot of ads for that. Brett Kavanaugh, why is he trending? Christ Santa Cano's trial. What does that have to do with Brett Kavanaugh? Oh, Brett Kavanaugh's calendar. Oh, I see. It's the same crying. They're comparing tears. The Brett Kavanaugh move. Yeah. Yeah, dude. We're just never gonna look for who paid off Brett Kavanaugh's debts. We're just not gonna. We're not. Yeah. And by the way, for those of you that don't know, it is not pronounced Brett.
Brett Kavanaugh.
So.
Brett Kavanaugh.
Brett Kavanaugh. Thank you very much. At least someone has the decency to say it right. Texas plan to remove books from schools is backfiring. Is it really, though? Yeah, he's selling books, but they're not going to be in the school. And even then, I'm like, this is one of those, blips. My favorite authors guys didn't see colors, kids of color represented me and my friends, which is cool. Was good. All right. Again, you ban something, you're going to sell more of it. Like, I don't know why we don't realize that after a while. Oh yeah, this is interesting. The NRA, they recorded them after Columbine. I mean, look how long this took to come out and what their reaction was going to be to it and how they were going to, and ultimately what they settled on, no matter what happens in this conversation, what they ultimately settled on? Let's put on a gun show anywhere there's a school shooting within days, which is what happened. Anytime, look for it now. Anytime there's a school shooting or a mass shooting that's, that pegs the needle that's like 8 or more, that they promote and push a gun show nearby. That's what they ultimately came down to. It's gross. I mean, legislative, no, I'm talking about something concrete, like a victim's fund. Yeah, we create a victim's fund and we give the victims $1 million or something like that. Does that look bad or does it look, yeah, we create a victim's fund. Well, I mean, that can be twisted too. I mean, why are you giving money? You feel responsible? Right. Of course, that's how they're talking about it. But ultimately, what did they come down on? Twitch live streamers rarely take time off, or most of the money isn't that good. Really? Don't forget to like and subscribe. I mean, yeah, the fact that you have to like this is a hamster wheel gig. If you dodge a day, if I forget to mention super chats or something like that, and I do it for days on end. You guys have seen me. I don't push it. And some of these guys push like crazy and still, you got a good week, bad week, good week, bad week kind of a thing. Even if the content is is consistent. Twitch streaming is a job. It absolutely is. Ask Hassan Piker. Ask Chink's nephew. He's the CEO of Twitch streaming. It's true. There are zero requirements to be a Supreme Court judge, V. Gabriel. I would argue that some of the folks on there are below zero. They have liabilities that should keep them off, and they don't. I do not hate you, Susie. Yeah. Streaming is there are days. You guys know I'm really good at managing anxiety or worry or fear, those kind of things, and I take great pride in kind of having a decent grip on my mental health. And still, like, over the last year and a half, as I've started doing this daily, there's been a couple of weeks where I'm like, you get on this cycle of, am I helping? Is it working? Can this replace other stuff? Am I gonna have to, what happens if it goes away? Are people okay? You start carrying the weight of some of the people in your chat emotionally that have come and gone. We've lost, our dear Billy and a couple of other people over the years, and it's heartbreaking, and you carry that with you. So that's always like part of, it's always in my mind when I'm doing this, right? Can't stop lying, right? Absolutely. Like, you and me, brother, like, it's work. And then you get, emotionally invested in people that you see every day. And then I try, Jeanette, I don't want to, don't let me set you off today and undo all the work. But knowing that catharsis is there and that it is working and that it is helping, then what if one day it isn't helping, or you have to, like we've been talking about some of these other things that you feel like you might emotionally upset people even though you're telling them the truth. You carry that with you. So it's like a brick, each they're not giant bricks, but they're always there. And so you have to be aware of those bricks. You have to realize they're on your shoulder, and deal with it as best you can. Yeah, that's okay. We have trolls. That's fine. The great thing about this chat, I will say that the singularly most unique thing about this show and the afternoon show, especially, besides yours truly and our wonderful Can't Stop Lying, is the fact that our chat room is largely troll proof. Because, as we just don't get wound up in stuff. It's okay. Trolls help us, spread the word because they get it, they expand us within the algorithm, and it's okay. 3 words. Thank you, Brandon. Yes. So, but a lot of these kids that are, live streaming for a living, who started this, a lot of them, again, as teenagers, and are being shaped by this, it's a tough one, because you're not just playing games, is the assumption. Like, the ones that just play games don't go anywhere and then they go do something else. But the ones who actually create a career, then they're always trying to jack this stuff up. And that, like, if you want to see like the ad absurdum aspect of it, go look at like people like Mr. Beast or whatever, where he's making a shit ton of money, but it's a grind. Like, and he's got all kinds of hangers on now, which is like, a recent leak of pay data revealed that the overwhelming majority of Twitch's broadcasters receive annual payouts directly from the platform that are far less than U.S. median household income. Well, yeah, but a lot of them also live at home, and a lot of them are getting split income, or they're doing it as a secondary thing. So that's a false choice. This is a dick move. Let's be completely honest. The top, and a lot of them aren't sure where they are, and this is how it's going to shake out in any performance situation. I mean, look at actors, look at comedians. I scratch my way into the top 10% of comics, only because the bottom is full of open micers and people who never actually get a paid gig ever, because they don't care to or try. They're just trying it out. Yeah, streaming is a good side hustle, and it can you can turn something you like to do into a pay career where it's a creative outlet. It's a hobby that can pay well for gamers in particular. Thanks, Kayana. Not everybody feels that way. She said, I appreciate not being lied to. Let's see. Your income is based on the generosity of people who watch your stream. This is true. Hi, everyone. Hello. Don't forget to like and subscribe, thumbs up, all of the things I'm supposed to say that I always forget to say. Trolls block me before they comment. Well, I understand, V. Gabriel. It's the all caps that drives them crazy. In Lexington, Kentucky, who goes by That Nerd Chris, plays Fortnite during his broadcasts. Yeah. He's 32, and he lives in Lexington. I mean, look at this gear, too. Same kind of situation I've shown a couple of people, but over time, you start you got to compete on a camera level, you got to compete on a lighting level, you got to create new content. And, I added the morning show largely because there was gaps in what I could talk about in the afternoon thing, which is how a lot of this stuff expands when these people do it. Next thing you know, they're on TV. They're streaming 10 hours a fucking day. Like, there's a couple of people that I watch, because I watch, you guys know this, I watch a lot of what I would consider like alt-right or extremist stuff, and I watch a lot of foreign news. I watch a lot of like Indian and Chinese news. I watch the English versions of a lot of the European news shows, so that when I get a perspective, so I can get a different perspective, and I can give you a different perspective, and so that when Fox News or one of these people is selling you a hammer because they think everything's a nail, I can go, actually, that's a Phillips screw, and it requires some level of competency to deal with it. It's a circuit board, Sam. Put the hammer down. So I watch a bunch of this stuff, and there's one that these guys do a show. I don't even remember the name right now, and even if I did, I don't know that I would repeat it because you don't need to. It's not that interesting. They stream like 11 fucking hours. They do what I do essentially in a lower res way. They comment on videos. And they go off on tangents, and that every single one of their shows is 11 fucking hours. How is India these days? They're having a rough go of it. It's improving. They just had, I'm going to mispronounce it, Denali, the holiday, but they're having fist fights with the Chinese in a demilitarized zone around Tibet. The Chinese are trying to take over a section of occupied Kashmir. It's a little fucked up. Diwali. Thank you so much, Nika Crickles. I beg your pardon for not getting that right. Diwali, right. So, but again, that's another argument. We've talked about my beliefs about population in both those countries. Half of streamers who earn payouts make less than $28 as of September this year, according to leaked data. Well, yeah, because they never try it, or they don't get their setup on there, or they only do it as a hobby, and they're just playing and not doing anything. The majority of video game players are not in leagues. You understand? Like, the majority of people who play any video game are not in the competition level of it. Agreed with the free Tibet thing. And the argument is that Decaying Bear, we're going to see a lot of movement in the Tibet arena over the next couple of years. And a lot of it won't be pretty. Baby loving my grandson, Silas, so we'll pop in. Congratulations, Jody. Only 5% of users have made over $1,000 this year. Right, because it's not a profession for everybody. Not every streamer is going to reach that level. Again, I don't know why this comes across as income inequality in that regard. You know how hard it took just to get monetized on Twitch? You guys remember this? Okay, so last year, some of you might remember, a Trumpian lawyer at Universal Media Group went after my show and took a 4-year-old video, used a copyright strike, and waited until we were within the 90-day window to the election, and got me and hit me with a copyright strike from their company, which is different than an individual, that knocked me off of streaming for 90 days. And YouTube was my primary way of paying my bills and buying toothpaste, when everything shut down, because there was no acting production, there's no stand up, all the ways I normally make a living just evaporated in a day. And there wasn't we'll pay you to keep a comedy club open, so pay out the comedians you might have had. Like, that didn't happen. The performers, whereas the staff in theaters, for example, or comedy clubs would get pay from the PPP loans. They weren't doing that with the performers. You just done. Yes, it was done specifically in timing to keep me from streaming up to the election. And streaming came back 4 days after. Right. And Twitch, yes, Twitch at the rescue. So Twitch, which is fantastic. Please subscribe on Twitch if you have any means and wherewithal to subscribe. If you have Amazon Prime, you're on Amazon, you buy stuff and you've got Prime, you can subscribe on Twitch for free. Doesn't cost you anything, and it helps. But there are 3 stages to get monetized on there. And I had only been if I hadn't had Twitch already in phase 1, because I'd been streaming from the beginning of summer on it and had somewhere for everybody to go, I would have been leveled by that for 3 months. Imagine 3 months, no mortgage payment, 3 months, no insurance payments, 3 months, groceries, fucking gone. That was it. Without YouTube and the ad rev is minuscule. It's only super chats that make YouTube worth it, honest to God. And this is, any streamer will tell you this, unless they're enormous, right? And then they've just got this guy. Yeah, we just gotten started. The show had only been running daily for that time, and it was actually, I know the source cash. It hasn't come in. It's funny, and it's all in Hungarian, so I don't know if I could even spend it. But that was, that was fucked up. That was rough. Was I able to push back? No. I had no recourse whatsoever. And if I had followed the advice that everybody had given me, which is try to get everybody in one place, try to get your audience to all come to this one channel so that your number gets really big in that one area because you pulled them from all the different locations. If I'd have done that, I would have been wiped out totally. Yeah, well, thanks, Leif J. Leif J? I think that's what that is. If I hadn't had Twitch as a backup, I'd have been wiped out for months. And at that time, my girlfriend's job had completely evaporated. She was in events, working for a company that was just gone. So it wasn't like we could balance out between the two of us. Hers had just gone away. And because she was a subcontractor, they weren't paying out to PPP, just like comedy clubs weren't sending checks to comedians like, hey, sorry, we had to kill your booking, but here's the money from that weekend from our PPP loan. It didn't happen. So, and the process of getting where I could have ads for followers. If you subscribe, you don't have to see the ads, but if you follow, they'll play ads and that kind of stuff. The process of getting to partner on Twitch was, you guys remember this, I had to stream friggin' 3 hours a day for 15 business days in a row, have over 70 people in the chat at any given time, which when you're was at that time we were just starting out, so getting that many people in the YouTube channel on a regular basis was work. And then getting it on Twitch was even harder. So, and then people had to jump over, and this is exactly why you don't corral people into technology. You let them choose. But getting everybody over to Twitch and then figuring it out was a time delay as well. So the idea that this chart is somehow a gotcha is friggin' ridiculous. Revenue by user 2021, the 150,000 people. I have to look at this chart. Yeah, here you go. Over $1,000 to 100,000 plus. By the way, that's Hassan Piker right there. That's Chank's nephew right there. And the number of people on here, I guess, the volume of what you make. Because this is where you either commit or give up. Because it's work. Also, the rest of what you've got going on in life it will eat into that as well. The YouTube thing drove me to figure out Twitch. I appreciate that, K-Link. And it's fun. You know, there is an upside to the Twitch stuff that Twitch only offers payouts once a streamer's accrued revenue balance reaches $100. Exactly. Because it would cost them more to do the work. You have to achieve a certain point before it's like getting residual checks. Actors will tell you this. Getting a residual check for less than the cost of the stamp they used to send it. It's a huge commitment. I mean, I've stuck to my 3:00 schedule, but with rare exception, and then the 4:00, locking that in for a year and a half now. And even I am just now getting to the point where if you like take out the gear and the time, the actual physical time spent, I make something from the channel. Like the cost of just doing it, the services I have to, like the cost of Restream, and I have to have a StreamYard account, even though I don't use it as a backup in case Restream goes down. The Streamlabs account that I have that allows me to do some of the stuff like alert boxes and all that stuff to thank you guys so that I don't have to interrupt, the show to say it, so we can give credit where credit is due. Oh, thanks, Bicycle Mike. And I'm glad you got you through cancer surgery. You're doing great. The organization I work for gets a paper check from some foundation for $1.06 a month, not even more time to enter it in the accounting software. Exactly. So why should this be any fucking different? This is so, like, snooty. This is like most hobbyists spend more money on their hobby than they make versus people who have a giant career on Etsy. Fuck off with this nonsense. The ego involved in this. Hazards of Twitch streaming are manifold, from anxiety to bodily pain and the pay unreliable. The hazards of Twitch streaming. I've never missed stream and I won't vacation more than 2 days at a time, says musician Paul Petrosky, who said he made around $1,200 last month. All right. So he's taking vacations. He can afford a Pac-Man Christmas jacket, which matches the background of the bar he goes to. Yeah, it's work, man. I can't take more than 2 days vacation at a time. I will say that is the part of this that's the hardest. He's absolutely right. Is that when I'm gone for a couple of days, or I have to miss a Monday after a Sunday, it's work getting people back in into watching the show a little bit. It takes a bit of a wind up. And I can understand that if you didn't have other outlets or some other way for people to know you, like I'm doing stand-up and those kind of things, it would be nervy as hell, right? Many streamers say they work when they're sick, rarely take time off, avoid eating on camera, and limit bathroom breaks for fear of losing followers. Yeah, apparently the big ones don't give a shit, because the first time I got on Twitch and I was setting up my Twitch account, I was like, who the fuck are these guys who are making millions of dollars on this thing? And I clicked on one of them. Tony, thank you so much for the subs. See, it's love. Hype train. I'm still trying to get, I can't get 1,000 subscribers. I've been hammering at this for a year and a half consistently all the time. What happens when I become mayor? Will I lose you? No, I will just have to turn off all the financial parts of this and just do it live anyways, which I would gladly do to the best of my ability. They're scrubbing bubbles. Are they? You sure? You sure? No, these are ghosts. I appreciate the scrubbing bubbles reference. I've set alarms for house show. Oh, thanks, Sherry. One of the big ones that I tuned in on, literally, I was like, I'll ask Ethan, which is Summer's kid, because he knows all the big streamers are, and he's like, yeah, you can check out this guy and this guy, see what they're doing. Because I was like, these guys must be hilarious if they're holding that much attention for that long. Tuned in, dude had somebody else playing his game, like a friend of his was just playing, using his controller, and he was just eating his dinner with just eating chicken on screen. And it was like, all right, is this a contest? Is this how much chicken he can eat? Nah, it's just dinner. Mom brought him to it. He lives at home, so don't give me any shit about like they only make this much. Dude was like a millionaire living in his mom's house, like a classic. Or his mom lives with him now that he's a millionaire, which is probably close. Oh yes, Chip needs an Instagram, very possibly. But that was the first thing I saw him do, eating on camera, and limiting bathroom breaks. Just put together some videos of yourself gaming. Grab some of your stuff. All of them know how to do this. That is like a clip reel of your best wins and that kind of stuff, and have that ready to go, and make sure it's at least 5 minutes long. Rarely take time off. That's true. Work when they're sick. By the way, welcome to the world of acting, because I've told you guys about this before. Anytime, any show you like, that that's been on for a long time, especially that you appreciate, be it Law and Order or Queer as Folk for that matter. If you've watched the show, you've watched us work sick, because if an actor is out, everybody's out. The whole production. The one thing about being a streamer is if you're sick, it's just you. And as soon as you feel better, you can turn the lights back on and go back to playing and showing up. And quite frankly, you can do it through being sick. Nico Cotto, have I ever talked about that? No, I have not. So actors do this all the time. And you'll see a lot of times an infectious disease, sniffles, some sort of flu, work its way through an entire cast over the course of a couple of episodes. Because you shoot most episodic television, one episode takes between 7 and 10 days. Most of the time they give them 10 days. They pare it down to 9 if they're trying to save money on next month's production because they have a big episode coming up. So you'll end up shooting an episode in 7 days for 3 weeks in a row where you're overworking so that you can do a big episode with a lot of people in it so they can afford the extras and shit like that. They'll cut against other episodes. And so you'll see people with sniffles, one character, and you're like, they sound a little nasally while they're talking. And then the next week's episode, you'll see 2 other people, go like also got the sniffles. And you're like, where the fuck? Oh, I see. These were all shot in a row. You can watch everybody in the cast get sick. The upside for streamers is you're only getting yourself sick. You can stay in your little, bedroom cubby hole. We're at the point where half of these people could live stream being sick, and they'd go, I'm 24-hour live stream. I'm sick. They probably pay for their whole gear in a year. Lay the reps to aspiring streamers, content creators. It looks easy. It's not easy. It's super fun while playing the video game, chatting with people, but it takes a toll on your health just like any regular job. Still learning this the hard way. Yeah. And this Wall Street Journal article is I guarantee has a mocking tone most of the time. So I'm not whining. This is just the reality of what I've dealt with in this. And I got rid of I had a chair originally, like just a sitting chair or whatever. And there were 2 things. One, it bugged me that it was in the green screen. And you could see through it. And it messed with the green screen. It made it just made it like res improperly. It just looked ugly. So I was going to get a hardback chair like a lot of streamers do, but ultimately I found that would make me slouch more. So I sit on, when I do the show, I sit on a stool. Because I have to sit up straight. It makes me sit more properly. So I'm not doing my show like this or doing my show like this. What happened to the guitar hanging on the wall? It's down here. It's behind the keyboard. I had it down on the rack. I'm bringing another one in that I was going to hang up there in its place because I can access it because I have 2 acoustics that I'm recording with right now. Yeah, I saw that about Brian Williams. Yeah. I don't know why, and it seems weird, and it's always been a bad time slot. So, I mean, more than likely he'll end up on. I mean, the sweet gig is like Dateline, I think. Brian Williams wants to do Dateline and just coast into retirement. I mean, he's not hurting. So, try yoga ball. Yeah, that's a little much when I'm trying to get up and down, and the cats would just jump on it and pop it. So actor Checkers appears in an advertisement for Amazon on TikTok, encourages people to work for the e-commerce company. Okay, they're hiring, and I gotta be completely honest. My biggest, and Hassan Abi, this is a deranged man. By the way, Hassan is a Marxist who lives in a $2.5 million house. Who thinks that, by the way, landlords should have their throats slit. You know, for retiring and buying rental property and keeping it up so that people who aren't ready to buy a house have a place to stay. Like, for fuck's sake. Brian was sent to embassy to die for lying about taking the fire in the field. And not necessarily. I mean, he got a job after it was the thing. Like, literally Hassan, like, I stream every day on Twitch for Thirst Drives Anarchy, and Anarchy, my G is hunt by your business. Yeah. And he's with William Morris Endeavor. Can I just say that he's a Marxist and he's with William Morris Endeavor for work, for representation. Marxist with an agent at William Morris Endeavor who lives in a $2.5 million house. Do you think Hassan should give all his money away? No, I think he should just stop lying about Marxism. It's the hypocrisy, not the money I have a problem with. It's bullshit. He's a bullshitter. He bullshits for a living. Runs in the family. He's a bullshitter. Why Princess Diana's revenge dress is still so relevant 27 years on. I don't know, because people like petty slides at exes or something like that. By the way, I totally expect you guys to put me up for a red notice, #red notice, so that you can say whatever crime I'm guilty of. If you tweet someone that you think should have a red notice on them with the hashtag, they go after them. Ricky Schroeder, what a douchebag. That video, by the way, where he was like, "We have to muster." What the fuck? Look at the Spider-Man was there, and he did nothing. Oh, I see, because of the crying. Right. It's all just, related to, This is my theory about child actors, some of them. Now, I've been lucky, because all the kids I worked with were amazingly talented, developed their talent over time. A little kid is like a glass full to the brim with talent. It's like the cup is completely full of talent. right? It's amazing. They're even overflowing with talent. You find a kid, he's this little cup, and he's overflowing with talent. And then the cup gets bigger, and the talent stays the same. And you're like, actually, he's now less talented than the average person. Like if you just hired someone who never took an acting class, because they have like this much talent, which is normal. Because these people get frozen in it. And again, until he became a grown man, no problem whatsoever with this. Aren't most child actors broken? No. Is Hal avoiding Rittenhouse for any reason? What are you talking about? That's the first thing we talked about. We just don't want to talk about it again. Oy. Well, there he is. Is he all right? Newsom said that after the state's recall election, he worked on signing bills. Then by the time of scheduled trip to Scotland, his children were fed up. The kids, literally, they kind of had an intervention. They said they couldn't believe I was going to miss Halloween. I woke up that next morning with something that's probably familiar to a lot of parents, that knot in your stomach, that I had no damn choice. I had to cancel that trip. Okay. Tuesday, he made his first public appearance in 2 weeks after plenty of speculation about his absence. Yeah, he supposedly has Bell's palsy from the vaccine. That's what the right wing was saying. He took a vacation with his kids. He went to a wedding. There was pictures of him there. Yeah. It doesn't help the pictures published by Vogue appear to show Newsom and his wife attending lavish marriage. Yeah, that's a day of that time. Relax. And they were masked, for the record. Yeah, don't care. I'm glad he's okay, and I'm glad he got some time off. And there's a hashtag. I don't know. Like, this is okay. So, and this is the generalized. That's what they think I'm interested in. Wisconsin's trending. What a shock. Plaintiff. Yeah. Judge Tanya Shukin has rejected Donald Trump's. This is beautiful. Presidents are not kings, and plaintiff is not president. Owie. Did I go away for a second? What happened? Was I talking about Twitch too much and they kicked me off? What happened? I should be on all these things. Hold on. Did we go off there? Oh, no. Oh yeah, Twitch bounced for a second. I'm on? Yeah, that's weird. It says sending data on Restream to Twitch. Was it because I said, did I talk about Twitch too much? Was that what happened? Very odd. It's, Twitch gets attacked all the time too. So every time I'm like, something's wrong, I'm doing something wrong. I now at this point, I just go, it's Twitch. Some nutcases attacking Twitch's streams. That's just so good. Yes. We're a democracy. Dude needs to just golf himself into oblivion. Bye. Trump has already appealed. Well, yeah, of course he's going to. It's not going to work, though. So, what? Announced departure from NBC after 28 years. It's a stretch. We talked about that earlier. Paul Rudd's the sexiest man alive. Congrats. Which is interesting to me that it took him this long to give it to him. For the record, I would say it's rude because, and let me see if I can, let me go back to back here. See if I'm gonna see if I can find something real quick. Let's see. So when I was, whoops, wrong one. Sorry. Did I type it in the wrong place? Yeah, hold on. One. You went to high school with Paul? That's cool. He seems like a lovely guy. There it is. See if there's pictures of him in images. Here's just in case you've never seen this before. This is Paul Rudd in 12th Night. So he gets pretty stripped down, and there you go. There's Paul Rudd in 12th Night. That's Paul Rudd's butt. That's a long time ago. Like, when was it? 2000 something? He gets out of the tub, starts walking around. Yeah. And you know, it's funny that he kind of plays the goofy, relatively harmless, cute guy in a lot of stuff. And then in this one, he was, you know, straight up the heartthrob. Him and Helen Hunt. Yeah. So when I was getting ready for 12th Night, I was looking at other performances of Malvolio to not repeat, but also one of the best ways for me to learn lines is auditory. It's just if I hear it. So if I found somebody who did it word for word, because it's Shakespeare, I can memorize it easier that way. 'Tis but fortune, all is fortune. Yes. Yeah, it was live. That was 1998. There you go, ladies. Those are some purple underwear. Those are purple. The whole joke is that she's supposed to be a guy, and he's supposed to not know it, and all that kind of stuff. And so he hands her the clothes and is walking around in his skivvies, and that throws everybody off. That's Kira Sedgwick. Yeah, see this part? Like, this is hilarious. Watch Callan Hunt's face. That's right. Eat your heart out, Prince. So congratulations to Paul Rudd for being the sexiest man alive. Even Helen Hunt thinks so. Uh-huh. I used to see, let's see. Okay, right here. Okay. I think we're talking about tastes at this point. By the way, is it fun? Is it just me? Or does sexiest man alive sound vaguely like an insult? He's the sexiest man alive. Sure, there are a bunch of dead guys who are way sexier. Who writes this? Necrophiliacs? What's happening? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, if you like alive, I suppose. Right? It just seems, it's always struck me as that. Yeah, you think this guy's sexy, you should go down the morgue sometime. Pick a drawer, baby. He definitely looks good. And the work he's had done is spectacular. I'm very proud of him. Adding the bump to his nose right here to add some masculinity, that was very good. Raising his forehead, which I think was a bold move. Getting his ears redone. I mean, dude took it like a champ. And doing it in small increments. I'm kidding. Please no, I'm kidding. Don't get upset. It's People magazines. It's why it says People's 2021 Sexiest Man Alive. Thanks, WW. I try. PTSD. That's what's gonna. Let's see. You want to use music to help soothe battle. That's very lovely. That's a good thing. And it's a good thing that people are talking about PTSD. Dr. Fauci thinking he got PTSD from being a beer cat and the AIDS crisis actually explains a lot of what's going on. Is this what it is? Anthony Fauci cries while revealing that he had PTSD from the HIV/AIDS crisis in a new documentary. Yeah, I mean, they're closer to the suffering a lot of these people than anyone else. I went to bedsides with Marianne Williamson during that time, and by myself to see a couple of people who were working with her who had contracted HIV and died of AIDS. He probably saw 20 times the dying people that I saw. 50, I don't know. Just in the States, much less wherever else he went. Yeah, I mean, he was 17 when this happened. He's going to have PTSD. Ask any look, if you, and by the way, if you want to start criminal justice reform and letting people out of jail because they've gone through stuff, you got to understand a lot of those people have PTSD from what they've done. As a matter of fact, that's why most mass shooters do themselves in, because what they thought it was going to be like was very different from what it actually was like. And a lot of them are cowards and psychos. But that's the other reason. Mm-hmm. Prices for U.S. goods jumped 6.2% in October compared with a year earlier. Look how this is worded. Jumped 6.2% in October compared with a year earlier. Why would that be? Surging costs of food, gas, and housing left Americans grappling with the highest inflation rate since the 19th. Which part of that do you think went up the most? The product that was not being used at all to the product that is finally being used and all of it's being used? I'm sure they mention it. What? Yes, the inflation on Halloween masks is through the roof. Compared with a year earlier. How about this? How about compare it with 2019? That's not nearly as sexy, is it? It's a marginal rate, isn't it? With a slight bump for the missed revenue from last year, isn't it? Inflation is eroding the strong gains in wages and salaries. No, it follows it. If people can afford to pay more for stuff, people will charge more for the stuff they can afford. Floating Mayor's words, fueling the spike in prices have been a robust. Oh. Kind of not. All right. Which has run into persistent supply shortages. It's a demand problem. We have demand inflation right now. There we go. And what is this? Energy prices spiking 23%. In Europe and elsewhere too, annual inflation in 19 countries that use euro currency exceeding 4% in October, the most in 13 years, and energy prices spiking 23%. In Brazil, inflation soared more than 10% in the 12 months through October, according to data released this week. Yeah, that's right. Almost double. what we're going through. Higher prices for electricity, cooking gas, meat, and other staples have plunged many Brazilians further into financial instability. Americans are now spending 15% more on goods than before the pandemic, but they're also buying 80% more stuff. Ports, truck companies, and railroads can't keep up. Right. This is hardly an argument for people being broken by this. There's price gouging going on too. Like, the resulting bottlenecks are swelling prices. That's right. Oh, I thought this was Biden's fault. My mistake. Surging inflation has broadened beyond pandemic disrupted industries into many services that Americans spend money on, notably for restaurant meals, rental apartments, and medical services, which jumped by 0.5%. Because people's wages went up, because people's wages and therefore rent went up, because people are going back to the hospital and there aren't enough nurses, and because a bunch of them died from a preventable disease because the last guy didn't care. Food banks are struggling to assist the needy with beef, egg, and peanut butter prices jumping. Millions of households are planning year-end travel. Thanksgiving dinners and holiday gift giving will be forced to pay much more this year, but they will be able to do it because they are making more this year in a same category. Yeah, I blame CRT. Economy's managed to sustain its recovery from... Oh, at the same time, remember when I told you guys about paragraph 3? Sometimes it's paragraph 5, where a part of the story goes, on the other hand, our headline could be total bullshit. That's why you read the whole article. Thanks for reminding me, Twitter. At the same time, the economy is managing to sustain its recovery from the pandemic recession, and consumers, on average, have plenty of money to spend. That is in contrast to the stagflation of the 1970s, when households endured the whole double hardship of high unemployment and high inflation. Are you spending more at the pump? Yes. Are people making more finally? Yes. Do they have leftover UI in most cases? Yes. Is it a perfect situation? Of course not. Are poor people being hit very hard? Yes. Should we be giving more, food and support to food banks and stuff? Of course. Thank you, Grant. You too. Hi, Rebecca. Yes, it is. Yeah, you're in Liverpool, England, and fuel prices are through the roof. Yeah, well, you guys pay by the liter, right? Do they do that? I'm fairly certain, right? It's always been expensive. You always paid more for it than we have. Yeah. Yay. Hi, Sarah. Thanks. Yeah, all news is like that anymore. But it's important. Like, again, yes, $7 a liter. Yep. I've been in England when it's been $7 a liter before. Yeah, where is Caden? We don't know. He was lost that day. We're gonna find out. Kyle Rittenhouse is gonna pull off his mask, and it's gonna be Caden. Yeah, this is the part you're not gonna hear on Fox News, and the part that most people are gonna look at this. Look at the title of this: "Heavy burden for consumers as holidays near soaring prices." Look at this fucking title: "Heavy burden for consumers as holidays near soaring prices." Meanwhile, where were we? Back up here. Yeah. At the same time, the economy has managed to sustain its recovery from the pandemic recession, and consumers, on average, have plenty of money to spend. That is in contrast to the stagflation of the 70s. Many Americans are also receiving healthy pay raises, especially workers at restaurants, where the cost of your food has gone up 0.5% because especially workers at restaurants. And the food price has only gone up 0.5% because workers at restaurants, hotels, and entertainment values where hourly wages are up for more than 10% from a year ago. So it's up 0.5%. Your cost for the food and stuff that you're getting at a restaurant when you go out to eat is up 0.5%, 6% from a year ago. And their wages are up 10% from a year ago. Look at that. And families on average have built up substantial savings from stimulus checks and enhanced unemployment benefits. We're still looking at an economy in a strong position, said Sarah House, a senior economist at Wells Fargo. The consumer is still going out and spending, which is why we're seeing the price gains we're seeing. Used car prices jumped last month. After having eased in August and September, the cost of a used vehicle has rocketed more than 25% from a year ago because nobody was buying a fucking car when they thought we were staying home. What do you think? All right. And also chips and all that stuff for new cars. With automakers sharply slowing production because of parts and shortages, they mean chips. Prices for new cars have risen for 7 straight months. Furniture is more expensive because it's coming from someplace else. Grocery prices have climbed 5.4% in the past year, with the price of beef roast leaping 25% and bacon up 20% from a year ago. 20%. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. Bacon. And by the way, can I just tell you guys for the record, does anybody remember like 2018 and 2019? There was so much bacon they were putting it in candles, shit like that. Bacon price. Current bacon prices. Let's see. Smithfield bacon lovers and a bacon. Current bacon prices. Original bacon steak, well, for this $8.98. Applewood. I don't want this organic shit. It's a huge amount for $29. $14 Applewood. There you go. Pasture raised bacon, $13. That's not bacon. Sugar-free uncured Berkshire for $9.49. That's a pretty wide spectrum of nitrate-free home-style cut bacon. Applewood bacon, $8.98, $9, $13, $8, $9. So I guess they picked this one. Pasture raised bacon. Yeah. In the world? Go backwards, you silly page. Right. 20%. Right. Many Republicans in Congress have blamed President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion financial aid package approved in March for intensifying inflation. Yeah, because it can't be supply chains, shit like that. Right. The additional stimulus checks and enhanced unemployment aid, they argue, drove demand beyond the economy could produce. If you don't have some broke people, how are we? All right. On Wednesday, he visited the Port of Baltimore to highlight parts of the recently passed taking. Okay, inflation hurts Americans' pocketbooks, reversing the trend is a top priority for me. Yes, energy costs soared 4.8% from September of last year. From September to October, with gasoline, natural gas, and heating oil surging for the same reason that many other commodities have grown more expensive. Demand has risen as Americans drive and fly more, but supplies haven't kept up. That's why he's asking OPEC to produce more, because our companies are selling to Europe because you guys will pay through the roof. Right. You'll pay $7 a liter. Why the fuck would you sell it for $3.42 a gallon in America when you can get $7 a liter for it in England and in Europe? Up from just $2.11 a year ago. The Energy Information has forecast that Americans will spend 30% more this winter on natural gas and 43% more on heating oil. And there'll be subsidies to push that down. And then they'll raise production, and that's that. Job gains and pay raises much larger during the thing. And by the way, all of this is supply caused by bad policy. It couldn't possibly be that heating oil companies and oil and gas companies are raising the price to make up for the losses in other areas from last year or anything. For months, he described inflation as transitory, a short-term phenomenon linked to labor and supply shortages. Last week, Powell acknowledged the higher prices could last well into next summer. That's because it's taking longer to remedy the short-term of it. Right. Fed Chair announced the central bank will start reducing monthly bond purchases. It began last year as an emergency measure to boost the economy. September, Fed officials also forecast they would raise its benchmark interest rate from its record low level near zero by the end of 2022. Much earlier than they predicted a few months ago. Sharply higher inflation might accelerate that timetable. Investors expect at least 2 Fed rate hikes next year. Fast food prices soared 7.1% in October from earlier in the year because cheap friggin' food uses a longer supply chain. And McDonald's boosted hourly pay 10 to 15% over the past year and is paying more for food and paper. Isn't that the same thing? I haven't eaten McDonald's in a long time. Aren't they the same thing? Isn't their food made entirely out of paper? The burgers taste like cardboard. Am I wrong? All right. The company said last month with ketchup on them. Don't at me. Company said last month it had raised prices 6% in July-September quarter from the earlier year, yet company sales leapt 14% as virus restrictions eased. Does you see that? Prices went up 6% and still 14% raise in it because people have more money. And then it all chases the same dollar. You get a raise, product costs go up. The difference is trying to keep that balance of the extra money part chasing how much people feel comfortable raising their prices to go along with that. And it's a constant effort. You know, that's why you want adults working on this shit and not Donald Trump going, I had a deal with China and then COVID and I didn't feel very good about it. And I gave the money to our farmers and lots of farmers and it's so good. Fish delight. So that's pretty much how it went. We need price controls, oi. You know what you get with price controls? Effort controls. Amazon backed EV startup Rivian set to go public. What? Oh, it's electric cars? Yeah. Which is backed by Amazon and Ford, has attracted intense interest from investors looking to capitalize on the fast-growing EV market. Waited for Rivian for a year. And so disappointed with the IPO launch. No op to purchase shares in advance. Last minute update. Just learned that PPS has gone from 78 to 120. Yeah, it's because those two have bought a huge amount of shares. Oh my God, Bottega Veneta and Daniel Lee have announced they are parting ways. If only I gave a goddamn. JD Vance, didn't he write Hillbilly Elegy? Is this the same dude we're talking about? Took a brief break to watch Rittenhouse testimony and fills me with an indescribable rage. Okay, good. Well, then don't write about it. Don't come back until you can describe it. Right? Maybe draw a cartoon with crayons with your feet. Is your diaper full? Isn't indescribable rage a description of your rage? Just saying. Was this a Kyle Rittenhouse testifies his own defense? Don't get brazen with me. Oh, this is the brazen. Oh, is this what it comes down hard on the prosecution after they try to mention evidence that was excluded by pretrial order? Well, yeah, you don't get to do that. You're going to get the fucking thing thrown out. Here's the thing. If the prosecution mentions shit that was thrown out in pretrial and there's any hope of Kyle Rittenhouse getting, time for this or getting, a harsher sentence, it's gone. This is what happens. It doesn't get you closer to a conviction. It gives him more ability to appeal. Stupid. It's a stupid tactic. It doesn't help. It makes it easier for the kid to, win on appeal and not get a retrial. But brazen? Don't get brazen with me. Did he plead the fifth in any way? Is that what it is? Grave constitutional violation for you to talk about the defendant's silence. Judge referring the defendant's Fifth Amendment to remain silent. I see, right. Yeah, the problem is you're not going to get him convicted with this bullshit. You're going to give him a way to get shit thrown out on appeal. How many people think Henry Cavill is Jim Caviezel and back and forth? And think, isn't he the Q guy? Right. Oh, Elden Ring. I saw this come up on the PS5 or something. It's apparently very sexy. The gameplay is very beautiful. Look at this business. Look at this. When will we have... Please, look. All I want... This is all I want. Someone get to work on this. All we need are 3D printing robots that can follow, a schematic and can return to a site, pick up a certain amount of concrete, go back to their spot, and continue work. And once that happens, you've got cities like this in weeks. I'm just saying, it'd be so cool. Can we not? Can't just please? Anyways, that's the full trend today. We got about 15 minutes left. I'm sure people are reacting to what I said about 17. Yeah, this was the this dude. It used to be, women were attracted to your strength because you could defend them from dinosaurs. And my response, of course, was, bro, the ladies are only impressed you can bat away a world-destroying asteroid with your dick or punch a bunch of measles in the friggin' face. Do you even lift? Also, dinosaurs? Try dragons. Now, if you excuse me, I have a roid rage appointment at 3. Bruh. So, and this thing, this like walk with a mall, the 3.5 meter puppet of a young Syrian refugee that has traveled 8,000 kilometers from the Syrian border arrived at COP26 for Gender Day. Here she is to raise awareness of the disproportionate impact of climate change on women and girls around the world, which has a dude inside. That's a dude. And is being run by 2 other dudes. But Gender Day. Okay. And my thing was the fight between her and Robo Greta was insane. How dare you? It's a cool puppet. But and then this piece of noise. Donald Trump's secret January 6 files included outtakes from his go home video. Oh, please. I need to see all of these. If that's what he signed off on, can you fucking imagine the ones that he didn't want, or that they gave up on? Let me try it again. Let me get. I can do this one a little hipper. I don't like the turn of phrase on that. I don't think I should have rolled my eyes when I said "we love you." Let's see. Which one's this? Oh, they're going back and forth. Trump and his Trump didn't seem to believe he had the authority of a king, but Chekhin's ruling shows that as the ex-president, Trump's belief in his own omnipotence and right to flout the rule of law is on even weaker ground than during his 4 tumultuous years in office. And I directly relate this to the fact that Trump and everybody, like Fox News, they talked about Obama like we thought he was a god and that he could get away with anything. And yeah, I know the dude below. I get a bunch of those. Who cares? We just leave him alone. Leave Trump alone. Leave him alone. Yeah, they're like, leave Britney alone. People come in to defend Trump all the time. It's hilarious. But they constantly talked about how, Obama ruled like a dictator or a king, and they thought they believed what they were selling about Obama, and then got in and realized he acted well within the law, painstakingly within the law a lot of times, and that they would have nowhere near the amount of power they thought they should have. Dude, why are you so obsessed with Trump? Dude, why are you still obsessed with that man from Nantucket? Yeah, this is the... Yeah, and my response was, please release them, please release them, please release them, please release them, please release them. Oh yeah, and this was like, U.S. citizenship naturalizations are now the highest in more than a decade. And my response was, someone get Tucker Carlson a paper bag. Exactly. Anyway, so this is this morning's trends on Twitch. I'll let you guys go, and I will see you this afternoon at our regular time at 3 p.m. It was a good conversation on a couple of things. We started off kind of where we were, some touchy subjects. People were a little nervous and upset by the extremity of the language that I use, but I stand by my moral stance on that entire idea, and I will forevermore. And we got past it. Everybody's alive. Everybody survived the discussion. Insofar as I know, I suppose somebody could have keeled over and not typed in a while. And and then, went through our kind of regular run of, and in dealing with some of the madness that's about us. And I want to make sure that you guys have a sense of perspective about this stuff. Yeah, we got past it. It's amazing, isn't it? I think we should talk more about burgers. I am mildly hungry right now, although it's not my eating window, so I'll wait till later. But I will see you guys in a little bit. And then, of course, I will eventually, based on that Twitch article we read earlier, announce the launch of my bi-weekly 24-hour live stream where I work out, eat, and shower with certain filters online for 24 hours straight, just so that I can pay my healthcare premiums. But I'm glad some of you can join in this. It's nice because it allows us to be a little more philosophical about things. Gives us time for that. Yeah, I'm gonna stream 30 hours a day. Don't kid. I know people will ask. I know that is true. Well, I'll bring Twitch is Twitch. Listen to me. Twitch is up online, right? We're good. Yes, everybody's here. I will have kittens on the later show, and now all that bacon talk made a bunch of people hungry. So I'll let you guys go. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And remember, when this is so important. You have a moral responsibility not to let trolling affect you. It's beyond just don't let it get to you. It's that resilience is critical to modern life and your ability to help other people. If you can be laid waste to by some idiot's chit chat someplace, then you are not the addition that we all need to the things you care about. Because it obviously shows empathy and caring on your part. You care deeply about things. Do not allow that to be weaponized against you by making people care, force you to care about their opinion. Do not. You're better than that. I will always be here to remind you of that. Language is not violence, period. Like, it is not. You can handle it. You got this. Trust me on this. Yes, laugh at the trolls. Enjoy their futility. Revel in the beauty of their flailing. It's a good time. Trust me on this. Okay, I will see you guys later. Oh, I have to turn on the music this time because this is the...